O come all. O come all ye faithful and ye doubtful. O come all ye uncertain. O come all ye joyful. O come all ye blue. O come all those who feel that Christmas is about the story of Mary and Joseph. O come all who rather feel more like the stories of Rudolph and Frosty. O come all who this evening feel more like the Grinch, with a heart that's maybe 2 sizes too small. The best line of that poem is that he had the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile. But come all. No matter what your paradigm, what your lens is on this special night of the year, here there's a meeting of spirits as we recognize that there's something magical, something leveling, something bigger than any one of our Christmas gifts, lists, or cookie recipes. Oh, come all to this hour of Christmas merriment. Well, Merry Christmas Eve. My name's Rebecca, and I'm delighted to be your host this evening. Outside, it's dark and cold. It's actually not wet, which is unusual. And inside, we're warm. What a blessing. We welcome you to this Christmas Eve service of candlelight and connection. Whatever your background, however you might see this night as sacred, you're welcome here to the magic, the mystery, and the music of this special evening. There's an awe and a reverie about this most wonderful night of the year. And welcome here to the home of the North Shore Unitarians, where our collective mission is to empower people to live with greater depth, meaning, and purpose. And we welcome all to our caring community where we foster spiritual growth free of dogma and inspire action in the service of life. A few announcements before we begin. First, we ask that you set your phone to quiet. It's always a tad embarrassing to be the one searching desperately for your phone when it pings or rings in that quiet moment. Although the variety of ringtones really is quite interesting. Second, there's a reception downstairs after the service. We have a fiesta of cookies and cider. All are welcome, whether you're a long-standing member here or whether this is the first time you've ever entered the building. Please come, join, stay as long as your Christmas Eve festivities will permit. Third, sharing this kind of weird cultural thing we have around here, we generally don't clap when we see or hear something we appreciate. We have this hand-rubbing thing that we do. It's quite lovely and gentle. It's very visual, and it's quiet. And that just means it doesn't interrupt someone who might be in a moment of emotion or reflection. In tonight's service, we will sing more than a few carols, one of the high points of any Christmas event. And we hope you'll all join in, as perhaps you did a few moments ago with O Come All Ye Faithful. Even those of you that are uncomfortable with singing, there's no one judging you. There's no one even listening to just you. And it's a wonderful, caring community. Music is one of the ways we connect to this season. Where else in the world today can you come and sing with another 60 people some of those old, familiar tunes? You can lip sync any parts you don't like. That's what the choir does when the notes are too high or too low. So when the time comes for us to sing, we encourage you to stand, follow the lyrics on the screen, and just sing your hearts out. A little safety announcement about candles. Hopefully you all got a candle on your way in. When the moment comes later in the service and we light candles, the lit candle stays upright. And when you're lighting your unlit candle, it comes in on a beautiful angle. And then once it's lit, it goes upright. So lit candles go upright. That keeps us safe. We haven't yet had the pleasure of welcoming the West Vancouver Fire Department to our beautiful wooden building on Christmas Eve or really any time, but it could happen. So keep your lit candles upright, please. And lastly, just a reminder to the regulars of the North Shore Unitarians, this coming Sunday, there's no service. There's a brunch instead, celebrating New Year's. All are welcome to join and bring something to share. Our next Sunday service will be the following week on January 4th, led by Bruce, titled The Museum of What You Used to Know. A service that will acknowledge the new year, a time of looking forward and looking back, and all the ways that we record moments in time, whether it's Christmas cards from years ago, or journals, or notebooks, or photos, or memories, all the ways you can trace the breadcrumb trail of what brought you to the present moment. If you're completely new here and you enjoy tonight's experience, we'd welcome you to the brunch or the service that following week. And one other sad note for the regulars here, we want to share that Jutta is in hospital. She broke her hip on Friday. So sad any time to happen, but over the holidays. So if you're able to visit her, she would probably love that. Are there any other announcements on this beautiful evening? Good. Then let us begin. Here on the ancestral lands of the Coast Salish people, we start our service with the lighting of the chalice, a chalice of light to face the world's shadows, a chalice of warmth to shelter us from the world's coldness, a chalice of courage to brave the world's terrors, and a chalice of peace to counter the world's tumult. We kindle this flame as a symbol of our gathering. May the light of understanding illuminate our darkness. May the warmth of sharing bring us peace. May its glow fill our hearts, our spirits, and our lives. Let's stand. Let's sing one of the most world-famous hymns ever, carols ever, Joy to the World. The words to the Joy to the World song, they were written in 1719 by an English minister, Isaac Watts. And the familiar tune that we sing, well, that was based on music originally attributed to Handel, and then later arranged by Lowell Mason. In Western cultures, Joy to the World is one of the most popular Christmas carols of all time. And now Maddie Williams is going to come up here and share a story with us. Thank you, Maddie.
When Sam was 3 years old, he attended the Little School of Seattle, which met in the basement of a church and kept its general supplies in the foyer of the women's bathroom. Sam discovered this treasure trove one morning late in November. Therein was a king-size canister full of red glitter. Yes, upside down over his head, all over the restroom, and down the hall and around the corner and into the director's office. But before anyone could mutter, "Oh my God, what a mess," Sam, 3, sang out, hands in the air, laughter on face, "You know what? You know what? There's Christmas in the bathroom." There's Christmas in the bathroom, and therein lies the message. Beauty, so said the ancients, is in the eye of the beholder, and Christmas is and ever will be found where it's looked for. Most often close by, most always very underfoot, hidden away in the cupboards of our lives, waiting to be rediscovered in a rebirth of wonder, waiting to be dumped over our hard heads like blessing oil, waiting to be scattered like red glitter on the walls and hallways of dark December. Christmas will be found in closeted memories, visions, hopes, fears, half-forgotten songs, and muddled stories of a child of long ago, and in the story of a child named Sam. Christmas will be found, even in bathrooms, by those who know how to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. There's not little power outages happening. We're just trying to tweak the lights a little bit, if you're wondering what the little light is. Well, that story came from Robert Fulgham. He was a well-known UU minister, probably best known for his book, All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. And he often spoke this time of year about that funny feeling you get when you know that once again Christmas has come to you. And I really like that expression, that Christmas has come to you. Because Christmas can come to us in so many different ways. I get it whenever I hear O Holy Night in a Christmas service. I had that Christmas feeling just now when we all walked in singing O Come All Ye Faithful with the organ and all the voices. I remember having it once as I left an evening service when the snowflakes were just starting to fall, blanketing, softening the world with a layer of white. I can't be sure I'll get that feeling every year, but I intentionally put myself in spaces where it could happen, and it usually does come. I could live without it, but I do like it when I get it, and I'm sure you feel the same. But we get confused about this season. I mean, what exactly are we celebrating? What do we do with the theology and the meaning of Christmas? I mean, Christmas comes from Mass for Christ. Do we celebrate the birth of a divine Savior, as the songs say? Or of the human teacher, a man named Jesus? Do we mush Christmas together with Kwanzaa and solstice and Hanukkah and everything else and just celebrate hope and joy and the return of light? It's kind of an uncomfortable question. It's definitely not a great party question. Hey, what's the meaning of Christmas for you? But we want to join in the fun of Christmas and be bathed in the joy of the season and feel that nostalgic tug at our hearts as we sing and eat together and delight in gift giving. But there are many of us, maybe especially those of us who have chosen to be in these four walls tonight as opposed to some other four-walled institution, that just get a bit uncomfortable with the Jesus is the reason for the season bumper sticker. And almost every year in one of my dashes to the shop for a last-minute gift, I find myself jarred by the noise and the crowds asking that famous Charlie Brown line, "Isn't there anyone who understands what Christmas is really about?" It creates a tension for us. Definitely for some of us, the link to the nativity story, the story of the birth of a baby, is like a thin veneer on the big picture of this celebration. But for others, it's a true story, like true, and it's part of a deep religious path. And regardless of our theology or atheology, the Christmas of current culture takes the premise of the nativity story, kind of like a soul story, overlaid on various myths, stories, legends, cultures, images, mostly from longer than 2,000 years ago, incorporating ideas from all over the world, most of them emphasizing beauty, the birth of light in darkness. And the connection to solstice, well, that gives us a chance to rest, to reset our relationships, our behavior, and see this as an opportunity to be kinder, generous, more loving. Well, yeah, after we've got the Christmas shopping done and the tree decorated, and in this current world, it's really easy to lose touch with that sense of awe and wonder and beauty and hope that this special evening and day is supposed to bring. Sometimes we feel like we've outgrown mystery, or we've become cynical about the magic of Santa, or we've forgotten the joy and awe of a newborn child. So hear now, friends, this invitation. Take a deep breath. Be here right now in this wonderful candlelit moment, because the past, the very recent past and the long past, it's always just memory. And the future, The near future and far future, it's just dream and speculation. So the only moment we have is right now. Let us slow down and appreciate all that is here and right now. You're all singing, that's awesome. Well, the first Noel comes from an old French word for Christmas. It's thought to be related possibly to the Latin term natalis, or birth, and some suggest Noel is maybe more closely related to nouvelle, meaning new, meaning news to tell. Apparently, the first use of the word Noel is in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales in 1395. And a carol? Well, we associate carols with Christmas, but the folk carol tradition is actually part of many other parts of the Christian year, including Easter. The word carol actually comes from the old French word carole, which is a circle dance that's accompanied by singers. Historically, in medieval Catholic Mass, congregational participation, particularly singing, was pretty limited. So people's song developed outside of church, particularly outside of Mass, and it spread through the oral tradition. In their earliest forms, carols were ways that they could preserve and spread biblical or religious narratives amongst those who were not literate. Carols existed in oral forms long before they were ever published. The first Noel has roots in the 15th century in oral form. It was first published in 1823. The words have changed slightly over the years, and the tune we now was written by John Stainer, the Englishman, in 1871. But just thinking about that brings such weight to the history of this celebration, this night. Like nativity stories, true or not, many of our ancestors have been thinking, celebrating, and singing about this for centuries. Let's listen for a moment to those original words from the Bible, the story of the birth.
Luke, verse 2, chapter 2, verses 1 to 17. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that the whole world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment, when Quirinius was governor of Syria. So all went to be enrolled, each to his own town. And Joseph too went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David that is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and family of David, to be enrolled with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. While they were there, the time came for her to have her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Now there were shepherds in that region, living in the fields and keeping the night watch over their flock. The angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were struck with great fear. The angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I proclaim to you good news of great joy that will be for all people. For today is the city of David, a Savior has been born for you, who is Messiah and Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find an infant wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." When the angels went away from them to heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go then to Bethlehem, to see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord hath made known to us." So they went in haste and found Mary and Joseph and the infant lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known the message that had been told to them about this child. All who heard it were amazed by what had been told them by the shepherds. And Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. And then the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, just as it had been told to them. Amen.
The history of the celebration of Christmas, it's kind of a strange thing. I mean, we all know that Christmas hasn't always been celebrated on December 25th. Deep winter has always been a time of celebration, even before the story of Jesus. Many peoples, many cultures have rejoiced during winter solstice, when the worst of winter was behind them and they could look forward to longer days, more hours of sunlight. I mean, the Norse celebrated Yule, the Germans honored the god Odin, the Romans celebrated Saturnalia to honor Saturn, the god of agriculture, and interestingly, way back then, they feasted and exchanged gifts. December 25th was also the birthday of the Indo-European deity Mitra, god of light. And December 25th was the pagan celebration every year, the rebirth of the invincible sun, Sol Invictus. So it wasn't until around 330 AD, during the reign of Emperor Constantine, that emperor who mandated Christianity as the religion of the time in the Roman Empire, that December 25th was adopted by the Roman Church as the official date of the celebration of the Nativity. It's probably significant that it was 9 months after the spring equinox. And the 12 days of Christmas refers to the days between December 25th and January 6th, the Epiphany, the date that the Magi actually came to see the baby. We tell it all like it happened in one night, but man, that was a lot to happen in one night. It was actually over 12 days. In the early Middle Ages, it wasn't Christmas Day that was celebrated, it was Epiphany, January 6th, when the Magi came and then told the story to the world. And of course, then Christianity expanded and different denominations evolved, and not surprising, divisions arose. The Puritans thought of Christmas as an awful Catholic invention, and they advocated strongly against it. That shored up the Catholics. And during the English Civil War in 1647, the Puritans took power, defeating King Charles I, who was an Anglican. And the Puritans banned Christmas. Like that expression we joke, cancel Christmas, it actually happened. They canceled it in 1647. Oliver Cromwell, who was the military leader of the Puritans, even ordered his troops to confiscate any special meals made on December 25th. Protests followed, pro-Christmas rioting broke out, semi-clandestine services marking Christmas continued to be held, people sang carols in quiet. It sounds awful and oppressive, but it wasn't all bad. Cromwell reformed the courts and the systems of taxation and established a new system of church government. Under Puritan law, a minister could choose any Puritan system as long as his congregation would follow along. So he was allowed, the minister, to organize his church according to Presbyterian or Baptist or independent lines. And anyone who objected to the system, they were actually free to go form their own separate congregation. Jews who had been banished from England for more than 3 centuries were allowed to return. So this was, in a sense, freedom of worship. Well, except for the Catholics and Anglicans who still had Christmas forbidden. Anyway, Christmas was restored as a legal event in England 13 years later in 1660 when King Charles II was restored to power. Puritan legislation was declared void, and the Anglican Church assumed full power. Anything non-Anglican, persecuted. Now, the Puritans who'd immigrated to the US in the meantime, they staunchly continued to oppose the Christmas observation, the Christmas holiday. The Pilgrims of New England, they might have brought us the Thanksgiving holiday, but they wanted still nothing to do with Christmas. They spent their first December 25th in the New World working as normal. The Puritans condemned Christmas because, number 1, nothing was written in the scriptures about it, and number 2, because it was a terribly boisterous event. They were not partiers, the Puritans. And back then, Christmas was guns, alcohol, fireworks, etc. Christmas observance was actually officially outlawed in Boston in 1659, funny enough, just a year before England got it back again. In Boston, the celebration of Christmas merited criminal persecution, a fine of 5 shillings, which was like 3 days' wages. And that law remained on the books until 1856. Although it wasn't really enforced, but it wasn't really till the mid-1800s that celebrating Christmas became fashionable in Boston again. So if we feel confused about the reason for the season, this is not a new feeling, people. Can you imagine how they felt in 330 AD when Constantine said, nope, that's not what December 25th is about, this is what December 25th is about? Or in 1659 when suddenly it was illegal to celebrate the Christmas nativity story? You know, Unitarians have a long history of trying to find a conciliatory path through all that kind of confusion. And it was Unitarians in the New England area that created many of the customs and rituals that most of us in North America associate when we think about Christmas. When things started to shift in the culture in New England in the early 1800s, it was the Unitarians who said, hey, maybe Christmas could be a holiday to promote the values of generosity, charity, and social good, particularly to children. And the transformation of this Christmas celebration was nudged along by the publication of the story A Visit from St. Nicholas in 1823 by Clement Moore. He's often called a Unitarian. He actually wasn't Unitarian at the time he wrote the book. He just converted way later in life. But Moore invented the Santa Claus figure that we all know and love. Before that, there was no unified tradition of a Christmas visitor bringing us gifts. In Moore's famous poem, he transformed St. Nicholas, who was a bishop known for acts of charity, into Santa Claus, the jolly old elf. I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. In 1830, Charles Follen, who was a German immigrant and Unitarian and a professor at Harvard, he invited colleagues to his house where he'd put up a tree lit with candles and covered with ornaments, just as he remembered from his childhood in Germany. And that's where the tradition of us putting up a Christmas tree comes from. It spread like wildfire. And the story of The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, a British Unitarian, he brought generosity and charity to the forefront of Christmas, that how we treat each other matters. What's even more remarkable about that story is Dickens wrote it in a way that showed it's possible to experience a conversion, Scrooge changing his ways dramatically, that is not necessarily based on a specific religious experience, but a personal regeneration that can turn us to look outwards and consider or try to help others. That was a big thing in that time. And lastly, it was another Unitarian, Thomas Nast, very famous political editorial cartoonist. In 1866, he drew Santa Claus, not in the US, not in England, not in anywhere, at the North Pole. And he did that strategically so that the message would be, this figure, this image, this story is for all children of the world. And it promoted the value that all children have worth and dignity. That's a lot of detail. We just wandered through the highlights of, 2 centuries of relevant history and culture change. But it's helpful to know that there's no one way to think of Christmas and the feelings that it invokes in us. It has ever evolved, and it likely ever will be. We're going to sing the Christmas carol in a bleak midwinter shortly. And I just want to share a couple pieces about it. It's written by the English poet Christina Rossetti. It was published originally under the title A Christmas Carol in January 1872. Can you think of any other Christmas carol that has a woman's name beside it? Okay, wait, old Christmas carol, like century old. I just need to stop somebody saying Mariah Carey for a second. In the Bleak Midwinter was put to music in the early 1900s, sadly after Rossetti died. So she never knew that we've sung it for so long. So let's do her justice and let's sing In the Bleak Midwinter.
Oh
Beautiful song. Did anyone start to wobble with the lyrics there a little bit? Yeah, that's because Unitarians changed the words to pretty much everything. The original last verse, of course, was, if I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a what can I give him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. Someone's mouthing it, I love it. Yet, what can I give him? I give him my heart. And our UU version is, once more child and mother weave their magic spell, touching hearts with wonder words can never tell. In the bleak midwinter, in this world of pain, where our hearts are open, love is born again. They're both equally beautiful. Now, I know there's at least one of you out there saying, that's not right. You can't just change things. That's not authentic. And I understand the sentiment, I really do. But it begs the question, what is authentic? Because maybe the authenticity is really in the emotion that's evoked from the words. So maybe authenticity is changing the words if that allows us to live fully into the moment of now. If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. I'm not a shepherd. I don't even know what a shepherd's life is really like. I really don't. And I would definitely not bring a lamb. I did not like lamb as a kid. I've been a vegetarian my whole life. I would not bring a lamb, period. I might bring a lamb as a pet, but I don't think that would have been appreciated. And a wise man? I don't even know how to answer that. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. I don't know what a wise man is these days, other than some of the wise men spelt with a small w, small m, that I know in our small world here. But the world is filled with people in powerful positions. Many of them don't seem very wise, and it doesn't feel like they're doing their part. Not the right part, anyway. So maybe authenticity is changing the words gently, in a non-reactionary way, but with slow, thoughtful consideration, so we can live into the emotion that was intended all those years ago, and now still, but with words that feel real and relevant today, in this moment, evoking the feelings that fit for us. Without needing to criticize those who like it the old way, or those who made it the original way. Maybe that's one of the lessons we can take with us. In the bleak midwinter, in this world of pain, when our hearts are open, love is born again. Whether you believe in the divinity of Christ or just appreciate the humanist teachings that remain from that potent origin story, at this time of year, we're asked to open ourselves up to the gifts of love, hope, connection, and compassion. So may the carols that we sing at this time of year actually take us into the realities of today, not the glassy-eyed unrealities of yore. So maybe Away in a Manger goes more like this. Away and in danger, no crib for a bed. A young girl named Mary laid down her sweet head. The bombs in the night sky rained down where she lay. A teenager, pregnant, with no safe place to stay. The sirens are blaring, the bomb shelter shakes, and though Mary is frightened, no crying she makes. The children are silent, and the women all sigh. Will life carry on when morning is nigh? Where's the justice? Where's the peace? How can there be healing when the wars do not cease? So yes, bless all the dear children who deserve tender care, and let us all strive for heaven on earth if we dare.
In Bethlehem a manger waits, long ago and so today, where hatred-weary people pray, love will come and lay and so do countless stables stand in hearts as harsh as desert lands, shelters in the winds and sands, so love will come and stay there. Love that opens fists of hate, heaps of gold on beggars' plates, love that shows a kindly face to enemies and strangers. And the walls of stables tremble so when the winds of fear and judgment blow, for a stable hopes in love alone and knows that love's the answer. Oh, love's the prophet's only word, the only lesson left to learn, the only end of heaven's work, and the only road that goes there. Love that sees with mercy's eyes, holds its arms out open wide, threads its loom with separate lives, and weaves them all together. So may the lamps of stables glow brightly, that their lights may go for miles in the darkness, so love will find its way there.
Thank you, Allison and Catherine. I now invite us into the spiritual practice of generosity. Each month here at the North Shore, we collect for a specific not-for-profit organization that's local, community-minded, and aligns with our values. Tonight, everything that goes into the offering basket will be given to the North Shore Women's Center, an organization that's dedicated to improving the social, economic, legal, and political status of women. It's an amazing organization. Please give as generously as you're able. You can donate by text or credit card or put cash into the white envelope you'll find in the seat back. Would the ushers please collect the offering? Thank you, Deanna. Collect the baskets. Thank you for your lovely donations that will be passed on to the North Shore Women's Center. Thank you for all the ways we contribute to community, both within and beyond these walls. I've always loved the song, O Holy Night, as part of the Christmas service. For me, it's one of those times that Christmas comes to me. But learning its origin story only made me love it more. The story goes like this. It was 1843, and the priest of Roquemar, France, he asked Placide Cappeau. He was a young, talented artist and writer to write a poem commemorating the renovation of the church organ. On a hard carriage ride to Paris, Cappeau imagines himself witness to the birth of Jesus. Steeped in wonder and glory, he writes a poem called Minuit Chrétien, Midnight Christians. He then asks his friend Adolphe Charles Adam, a composer of classical music, to write the music for the song, and that became known as Cantique de Noël, Song of Christmas. It was first performed in Roquemar, France, on Christmas Eve that year, 1843, and it swiftly became super popular, sung at Christmas masses across France and around the world. Having been written in 1843 in France, by 1858, it was being sung all over Quebec churches. 15 years, that's fast for a song to transmit back then. Like, internet speed was so slow. Growing in popularity here in the Francophone Canada, the hymn was actually banned in Europe when it was discovered that Placide Cappeau was an open atheist and socialist. And Adam was Jewish, and so it was banned. The French Catholic Church eventually allowed the song to come back into their services after this legendary moment in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870. During a lull in the fighting between the German and the French soldiers on Christmas Eve, one unarmed French soldier walked out on the battlefield and he began singing Cantique de Noël. And of course, the Germans responded with a Christmas hymn of their own, and the truce held for 24 hours. It's just so similar to the story of the First World War, the Christmas truce in 1914. The English version of O Holy Night was created in 1855 by a newly ordained Unitarian minister, John Sullivan Dwight. He was in the US. He apparently didn't like to speak very much, so he wanted more music in the service. He was so struck by Cappeau's lyrics. To him, it spoke so well to the inherent worth and dignity of all people. And the lyrics, well, maybe some parts of it feel challenging, but other parts of it are just so beautiful. Here's one line. Truly, he taught us to love one another. His law is love. His gospel is peace. Now, of course, remember, Unitarian roots are Christian. Long ago, we were Christian. So him and his are words that maybe don't feel quite right to most of us today, but the message of universal equality, justice, freedom, they're just as true aspirations as ever. How about if the law is love and the gospel, and the leading literature of the day suggests peace? How's that? Maybe then all oppression can cease. And I find myself wondering, what if love was the law? Would that help raise it up in our daily life priorities? What if municipalities had love as a guiding principle on which decisions were made? What would that look like? What would it look like for me, for all of us, to just love more, love better, love more wholly, spelled with an H? Sorry, W-H. W-H-O-L-L-Y. All right, what if our daily, how are you, suddenly became, how are you able to be loving today? And if you wanted to be flippant, you could just say, how's it going in the Love Well department, I know it's a lofty goal, but this song makes me think about things like that. And the line, long lay the world in sin and error pining. How many of us feel in our day-to-day lives that we're just not good enough? And this song says, long lay the world in sin and error pining till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. I love that phrase, the soul felt its worth. That's a value worth highlighting, that all of us are worthy, not because we do something or do not do something. It's one of the vital messages of Christmas that each of us matters. Each of us has immense worth. We don't need to be saved, well, except from the thought that we need to be saved. If our soul feels its worth, then we don't need to think that things need to be perfect or that our Christmas experience must be perfect. If we feel our worth, then we would never find ourselves thinking that our messy lives are somehow not good enough. If we feel our worth, then that saves us in our moments of despair and self-loathing or any inclination to give up. Knowing our worth can save us from persuasive and numbing indifference. All of us can make mistakes, maybe even bad choices, but we ourselves are never a mistake or a bad choice. Not if we know our soul has worth, if we know we're all beloved. And the last lyric I'll quote, "A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices." How many of us feel weary this time of year? But rejoice. It's a beautiful word. It's not a word we use in everyday English very much, although it appears in many Christmas carols. Rejoice means to find joy again. The poet W.H. Auden, he coined this phrase, stagger onwards rejoicing. Bruce shared it with us on Sunday. I love that little 3-word mantra, stagger onwards rejoicing. I think it's what most of us feel this time of year. Stagger, moving but not with much grace. Onwards, well, that's good, there's a sense of forward momentum. And rejoicing, trying to find joy again. Stagger onwards rejoicing. Auden, that same author, he has one other amazing Christmas quote. He said, "Let us allow Christmas to overtake us in our haste and our unpreparedness and renew the miracle of love once again in our lives." That, Charlie Brown, is what Christmas is really all about. So Christmas, an amalgamation of celebrations, a coalescing of myths and rituals and complicated history for more than a couple centuries, with so many possible meanings, love, hope, peace, true in the origin stories, still true in the ways they can and do speak to us in 2025. It's all pretty complicated and messy and keeps changing. Like the low-class shepherds who were invited to see for themselves, like the rough fishermen who were called to be followers and friends, like the young couple who found themselves parents of a child without respectable explanation for parentage, like the Anglicans in the 1600s who rioted when their Christmas was banished, like the soldiers in the fields in the Franco-Prussian War on Christmas Eve, like the 3-year-old named Sam who found glitter in the bathroom of the daycare, like whatever awaits you tomorrow. Christmas will be found. It can be found. It can come to you in memories, visions, hopes, fears, moments. Christmas is found and recreated in half-remembered lyrics, muddled stories, if we're awake enough, if we're aware enough of the present moment to see that we can all be part of an ongoing, endless, and limitless love. In the bleak midwinter, in this world of pain, when our hearts are open, love is born again and again and again. In my dream this year, the angel comes. She shrugs. She says, if we fail this time, it'll be a failure of imagination. And then she reminds me that the world sits gently in the palm of my hand. Whoever you are, wherever you go, may you know the stillness of winter and the call to love. May you see the moon silvering the night sky, and let the dark of midnight plunge you into your truest and worthiest self, and then fling you back out again into a world that is so in need of who you are. May there be the familiar carols you know by heart, with new melodies or new words to set you free. May there be feasting and frolicking, kindness and wonderment. May there be wise people to follow a star to the east or somewhere. May there be at least one child to teach us to love. Enough magic to let imagination go wild, to let Christmas arrive with all its enchantments, glitter, glow, and gold, to let what wants to be born break through. May the presence of the holy crowd out fear and worry and hate, and proclaim in this moment that peace and goodwill might yet be breathed into the world. We too can give birth to love and hope and peace wherever we go, whoever we are.
Shadows this cold endless
Stagger on, rejoicing friends. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.